So, every character defect, or what we call a character default, has three purposes to it. The first is that it economizes our distress. We cannot go on if we are overwhelmed with anxiety. So a character defect is a way of containing that anxiety, of bonding it or binding it. It also is a cry for help, meaning that we're saying to the world, and I'll give you an example of this in a minute, that I'm limited here because of the way I dealt with this one at a very young age. And it also, the cry for help and what we've done reveals the nature of our personal distress and what we need for a cure to heal our wound. So I'll give you an example that I use all the time because I think it's so illustrative, is that I was working with a gentleman. I used to give lectures at the Torrance National Council on Alcoholism. And on Saturday mornings, I would give these lectures from 10 to 12. And they were well attended. A lot of people came. And this one fellow showed up week after week. He started coming because he was in the DUI program. And he just continued on afterwards. And he started to really get into his recovery. But week after week, he would wear the same T-shirt. And on it, it says, before you even ask, the answer is no. Before you even ask, the answer is no. Wow, interesting, huh? So, obviously, he was rigid. See, character defects create a stereotype or rigidity. And things have to be a certain way for us to be okay. That's the I'm okay if syndrome manifesting itself. So for him, when he said no, he economized his distress. Well, what distress did he economize? The fact that when you say yes or you say no, you have to make a decision. And you have to weigh out a lot of different considerations in terms of making your decision. And the challenge is how do we know if it's the right decision or not? You see, that makes a lot of people highly anxious. But if it's already done, and before you ask, the answer is no, he doesn't have to worry about that. He didn't have to worry about struggling with, is this the right thing or not? Because it didn't matter to him, because it was always a no. Now, at the same time, what he's telling us is that he's stuck. He's stuck in his no. It's a cry for help. It's that he can't enjoy life and to be able to fully show up in life because he's trying to control it all the time. Now, what does it reveal the nature of his distress? Well, very likely no one ever said yes to him growing up. He never experienced what it was like to make a decision like that. His parents always said no to him. So what does he need? First of all, he needs to become aware of what he's doing, and he also needs somebody to say yes to him. So important. So I remember sometimes I would ask families to come up and do some work if we had some time left in the lecture, and he came up with his daughters. He had 3 daughters. They were like 13, 15, and 17. And his wife was there, and they started out, they say, Dad, we got something to talk to you about. Is that your shirt is how you are with us. We don't ever want to come to you for anything because we know what the answer is ahead of time, so we go to Mom. And I said, you get mad at us for that, but you've created it. And they're pointing out to him how he did create it by saying no all the time. And as we went on, I said to them that, I don't think anybody's ever said yes to your dad. What if you guys just tried something and said yes to him right now and told him how much you cared for him and how important he is to you? And let's see what that does. And as they started to share this to him, this tough, big guy started to break down in tears. And he had never been met with that kind of softness before, with that kind of availability to him. It was very powerful. Very, very powerful. If we would gain any real advantage in the use of this step on problems other than alcohol, We shall need to make a brand new venture into open-mindedness. We shall raise our eyes towards perfection and be ready to walk in that direction. Now, people are surprised at this because when he says raise our eyes towards perfection, this program isn't about becoming perfect. It's about making progress, right? There's no such thing as spiritual perfection. Dr. Kempler gave me some insight into this. He was my mentor. He says, Alan, there's nothing wrong with striving for perfection as long as you never fool yourself into thinking you can achieve it. As long as you keep humility, then keeping your eyes towards aiming at the best possible attitude that you can have, aiming at maturing yourself is an important goal to set in your mind. We need to start here with the end in mind, and that's what Bill is talking about. He says, how very easy, sure, I will head towards perfection, but I'm certainly not going to hurry any. Maybe I could postpone dealing with some of my problems indefinitely. Of course, this won't do, since a bluffing of oneself will have to go the way of any other pleasant rationalizations. At the very least, we shall have to come to grips with some of our worst character defects and take action towards their removal as quickly as possible. That's what makes this step so important. Patrick, in the beginning, in kind of a joking way, says steps 6 and 7 are the Passover steps. And that's oftentimes because people don't really understand the importance of sitting down and really working with these steps, because they are very important.